Saturday evening on the 15th of May 2021. Welcome to KBN, the finest television primetime news. Top stories making headlines in the news today. MMD vows to bounce back to power after August 12 pause. PF withdraws adoption certificate for Chifubu, parliamentary aspiring candidate. ERB suspends issuance of construction permits for new filling stations in Lusaka. On the foreign desk, Chinese spacecraft successfully lands on surface of Mars. And finally, on the sports desk, FAZ lines up friendly matches for Chipolo Polo and Copper Queens. To present the news in details, my name is Igabinda Igalimina. New Hope Movement for Multi-Party Democracy MMD National Secretary Ms. Elizabeth Chitaka has assured the nation that God will make a miracle and that the people should watch the space. Chitaka has noted that her party is determined to secure victory for MMD leader Nevas Mumba, adding that as a party they have done their homework well. She has emphasized that her party doesn't have camps and that those people that always cause confusion are rebels and they are found everywhere in all political parties.
That today a victory journey has started for New Hope Movement for Multi-Party Democracy. I'm happy that the supporters in Lusaka came in numbers. Yes. In fact, we were more than 200. I'm happy that within 30 minutes, the 100 were done. As a party, we are very determined. We are determined to cause a miracle in this country. They should watch our space. Should watch our space. This is what will happen even on the 12th of August 2020. We are determined as a party to make sure that we secure victory for our party president.
The ruling Patriotic Front Party has with immediate effect withdrawn its adoption certificate from Dorothy Nachilongo, who had earlier been adopted to contest the forthcoming Chifubu parliamentary elections on the Patriotic Front ticket. The Central Committee has instead adopted Kondwani Winga to contest the Chifubu parliamentary elections on the Patriotic Front ticket. Patriotic Front Secretary General Davis Mwila says the changes have been necessitated by some consequential information and development that have come to the attention of the Central Committee concerning the candidature of Dorothy. The Secretary General has since directed all party structures in Chifubu constituency and the Copperbelt province to rally behind Kondwani Winga. The Energy Regulation Board, ERB, has with immediate effect suspended the issuance of construction permits for newly filling stations within Lusaka district for a period of 6 months. ERB says it shall not review any environmental projects briefs for new filling stations in Lusaka district during the same period. ERB Public Relations Manager Kwila Mfuni, however, says the suspension of issuance of construction permits shall not apply to proposed rehabilitation, knockdown and the rebuild of existing filling stations. She has disclosed that the board has also in interim revised the allowed distance between operational filling stations from 500 meters to 300 meters countrywide with immediate effect. In her statement, Ms. Funi says the measures have been taken following board resolutions at a meeting held on Thursday, 6th May 2021 in Lusaka. She says at the said meeting, the board fourth resolved that a multi-sectorial technical committee comprising members from various relevant government ministries, agencies, departments, and authorities were consulted. Ms. Funi says the said committee would conduct a comprehensive study during the 6 months period to assess the risks associated with the existing construction of filling stations in the various localities in Lusaka town, as well as the visibility and consequential impact of approving additional filling stations within Lusaka. A Democratic Party DP has charged that high levels of violence had hindered women's participation in the forthcoming general elections. Speaking during the unveiling of 156 DP adopted members of parliament ahead of the August 12 general elections today, Party National Secretary Precious Ntombo indicated that most women were eager to stand on various platforms but expressed fear due to the hostile environment.
We are all inclusive, and even our local leaders tried in all senses to try and bring in women, but most women are actually now scared of getting into active politics because of the happenings that surround the politics here in Zambia. I'll give you a straight example. Issues of violence. Most of them, when you approach them to say, you are substantial, you've got substance in you, kindly stand, they would actually say, there's too much violence, I don't want to leave my kids as orphans. So we've got so many things that we really need to take care of. And even as we change government on August 13th or 14th, those are things that we've seriously got to look into so that the women, the youths, the PWDs that have been marginalized can come fully on board without any fear of watching behind their backs or being scared of going into such because of what happens around the circles.
You're watching the Finest Television, KBN. We go for our first breather. We'll be back. Please stay with us.
We understand your dreams to build your country. We see the passion in your eyes. We understand your vision of feeding the country. We love your resilience in connecting people with every completed transaction. You are the wheels that drive our economy. Let us rebuild Zambia, our home. This is why Zanaco is inviting all SMEs to apply for Kweza, the ultimate business plan pitch competition that can earn you a part of 2.5 million kwacha investment. To enter, you must have a registered business for at least 2 years. You must be ZRA compliant. You must deposit no less than 200 kwacha in your Zanaco account, and if you don't have one, open and deposit 200 kwacha. Download the application form and rules online at www.zanaco.co.zm/Kweza. Email the application form and supporting documents to kweza@zanaco.co.zm. T's and C's apply. Deadline for applications is 31st May 2021.
The Europa Final Showdown on Wednesday, 26th May at 21 hours. The best two teams facing off in this highly anticipated final match. Is it time for Manchester United to register silverware this season, or will Villarreal emerge surprise champions on their first Europa Final? Join the Topstar football family for this historic answer. Spare every moment and catch all the action as English elite Manchester United trade tacos with the Spanish resilient Villarreal, exclusive to World Football on Topstar. This is the showpiece you can't afford to miss. So hurry now and grab yourself a Topstar DTT 4 kit at only 149 kwacha or DTH 4 kit for only 299 kwacha, and cheer for your favorite team. Subscribe now and witness who will be crowned winner of the 2021 Europa League on Topstar. Topstar, enjoy digital life.
Thank you very much for staying with us right here on the Finest Television. GTS General Manager Jack Hung says workers' satisfaction is very important in the growth of any organization, hence the need for investors to motivate their workers to continue working hard by bettering their working condition. He has reiterated the need for investors to improve working conditions for their workers as they can't run their businesses without the help of local workers. He has since urged all the foreign investors to abide by the Zambian laws that stipulates on the way they should treat their workers.
I believe every investor, if you want to invest in Zambia, first of all, you have to respect labor law. You must respect labor law. You have to sign contract with all the workers. Second, you have to respect the culture. Third, you have to learn language. You know, you have to be Zambianization. You cannot use all the foreigners to work here. So Zambianization is also very important for sustainable development. That's my suggestion.
Some artists in Lusaka have urged members of the public to adhere to COVID-19 health guidelines. In a walk-in interview with KBN TV News today, the artists have expressed concern with the casual approach to health guidelines by members of the public. The artists have admitted that COVID-19 has affected them negatively, leading to their musical shows being cancelled.
Guys, we just want to let you know, make you aware, because the corona is real. Corona is real. Yeah, corona is real. So just mask up, practice social distance, because on our parts as artists, it has done us bad because the shows.
Yeah, just mask up, maintain social distance, sanitize your hand all the time. Yeah, that's so.
So definitely, COVID has really done us so bad because as artists, we've had shows cancelled and not doing gigs enough, and it came at a time whereby no one was ready because people didn't know about selling stuff online and making money online. So the pressure that came with COVID really did us bad. At the end of the day, now it's here. How are we going to do it? How are we going to live life? So probably we should mask up and always practice social distancing and making sure that we do the right things. Actually, there's a way we can always make it work.
Residents of Munali have continued to request the ruling Patriotic Front to adopt Crispin Chinda as the preferred candidate for the parliamentary seat. Chinda was left out in the adoption list by the ruling Patriotic Front, who chose Patrick, a former National Arts Council chairman. However, residents have continued calling upon the party leadership to rescind its decision and adopt Chinda.
Tichoke mu mavuto tankalamba. Tifuna Edi Kalungu na Kirisi. Wasebenzele pamozi. Wasebenzele pamozi. Mwana watu wameneta kula naye, wameneta ona kukula kwake. Tifuna Kirisi. Mwana watu tusenzele naye pamozi kumtendele.
You're watching KBN, the finest television. We go for another breather. We still have foreign and sports news. Please stay with us.
We understand your dreams to build your country. We see the passion in your eyes. We understand your vision of feeding the country. We love your resilience in connecting people with every completed transaction. You are the wheels that drive our economy. Let us rebuild Zambia, our home. This is why Zanaco is inviting all SMEs to apply for Kweza, the ultimate business plan pitch competition that can earn you a part of 2.5 million kwacha investment. To enter, you must have a registered business for at least 2 years. You must be ZRA compliant. You must deposit no less than 200 kwacha in your Zanaco account, and if you don't have one, open and deposit 200 kwacha. Download the application form and rules online at www.zanaco.co.zm/Kweza. Email the application form and supporting documents to kweza@zanaco.co.zm. T's and C's apply. Deadline for applications is 31st May 2021.
Thank you very much for staying with us on the finest television. And in foreign news, China's rover successfully landed on Mars Saturday, state media reported. A triumph for Beijing's increasingly bold space ambitions. We monitored France 24 News.
Well, first and foremost, it's significant because it's no easy feat. In order to land on Mars' surface, this lander and rover had to go through what is referred to in the space world as being the 7 or 9 minutes of terror. That's a communications blackout while the rover is landing on Mars' surface, where the station back on Earth has no idea what's happening, and all the maneuvers are entirely automated. And half of these attempts have failed so far, and China is only the third country to have managed to do that after the United States and the USSR. And actually, China had failed in a previous attempt about 10 years ago. So this shows that China and the US are in a race to become the world's global tech leader, and that China is fast catching up. We've seen it over the past few years in China's space program, with China launching its first quantum satellite, and then China landing on the far side of the moon and bringing back some lunar samples back to Earth. And finally, recently, in the past few weeks, we've seen China starting to build its own space station. So China is clearly more than a contender in a new space race, and Xi Jinping, the Chinese president, has congratulated the team behind this latest mission, and he'll no doubt be happy to see how independent China's space program is at a time of increased tensions in international relations.
So the rover has now touched down. That's a very difficult part over and done with. What's that rover planning to do now, Shah?
Well, it's landed on the Utopia plane in the northern hemisphere of Mars, which was created likely by a meteor impact. And this means that it was likely where there used to be water on Mars's surface. So the lander and rover will probably be keeping an eye on ice distribution on the Martian surface, and this likely for a future. This could be useful for any future manned missions on Mars. So over the next 30 days, this rover is going to be collecting data and sending it back to Earth using some of its 7 instruments, including cameras, ground-penetrating radar, and magnetic field detectors. So a really important mission here, with some scientists here in China explaining that Mars could have many answers to a number of questions relating to the Earth's evolution in the future. So really a lot at stake here for the Chinese space program.
And finally, on the sports desk, the Football Association of Zambia, FAZ, has clinched international friendly matches for the Chipolo Polo and the Copper Queens ahead of their respective international engagements. FAZ General Secretary Adrian Kashala says the Chipolo Polo will play Senegal, while the Copper Queens will face Mozambique on June 5 and May 28, respectively. After playing Senegal, the Chipolo Polo is expected to face 2 more sides. The Chipolo Polo is preparing for the Qatar 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers that have been pushed to September, while the Copper Queens are warming up for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games and the African Women Championship qualifiers. FAZ is also considering match opportunities for the Copper Queens beyond the African continent in view of their varied opponents in Group F of the Olympic Games. And on that note, we come to the end of our primetime news. But before we break ground, a recap of top stories that make headlines once again. MMD vows to bounce back to power after August 12 pause. PF withdraws adoption certificate from Chifubu parliamentary aspiring candidate. ERB suspends issuance of construction permits for new filling stations in Lusaka. In foreign news, Chinese spacecraft successfully lands on surface of Mars. And on the sports desk, FAZ lines up friendly matches for Chipolo Polo and Copper Queens. On behalf of the entire KBN newsroom, my name